Está começando mais uma jornada esportiva aqui na Times Brasil. A narração é de sucesso, os comentários é de quem entende, hein? Então vem com a gente, não vai perder essa jornada esportiva. Times Brasil, paixão pelo futebol.
Olá, muito bom dia, amigos e amigas da Times Brasil. Estamos chegando com um baita jogo aqui no YouTube e na Twitch da Times Brasil. Vamos juntos acompanhar Mongólia e Líbano, tá certo? Rapaz, é só aqui na Times Brasil um jogo amistoso, mas é uma Copa, tá? Uma Copa amistosa. Vamos juntos acompanhar esse Internacional Cup da Índia, né? A Copa aí, Copa né? Copa Herói aí, 2023, lá na Índia, disputada do dia 9 ao dia 18 de junho, tá bom? Temos 4 seleções: Líbano, Índia, Vanuatu e Mongólia. Olha só que legal, né? 4 seleções aí bastante alternativas, né, do futebol, jogando entre si essa competição, essa data FIFA, né? Certo? Líbano, Índia, Vanuatu e Mongólia. Muito legal. Todos os jogos acontecem lá na Índia, na cidade de Bhubaneswar. É claro que a pronúncia é outra, né? Bhubaneswar. Quase isso. É a maior capital e a maior cidade do estado indiano de Odisha, localizada no distrito de Koda, a região essa daí, tá bom? Vamos lá no estádio de Kalinga. Cabem 15 mil pessoas. O jogo aqui no Brasil é de manhã, né? 8 da manhã, rapaz. É cedo pra caramba, mas lá já não é esse horário, né? Aqui marcado pra 8h30. Quer dizer, aqui marcado para as 8 horas. Vou só confirmar o fuso horário certinho, né? Lá tem o fuso horário, né? Lá é 16. E rapaz, o jogo aqui é 8 da manhã, lá é 4h30 da tarde. Nunca vi esse horário quebrado, 4h30 da tarde. Estranho. Tá bom? As equipes escaladas, tudo prontinho, tudo pronto para começar o espetáculo de Mongólia e Líbano aqui na Times Brasil. Sejam todos muito bem-vindos, né? Tô aqui evitando falar um pouco alto, né, pessoal, devido ao horário. Ainda, né? Vai dar 8 horas ainda, né? Então, né, tem que controlar ali a emoção, né? Porque muito barulho de manhã assim incomoda os outros, né? Tá bom? Vai começar o jogo. Vamos aqui nos organizando. Muitos apontam aí Líbano como favorito, né? Vamos ver o que vai acontecer, beleza? Seja bem-vindo, vamos juntos acompanhar esse belo jogo.
Lebanon have retained their best players.
Opa, deixa eu fechar aqui o áudio. Temos aí o áudio em inglês, né? Pelo jeito. Vamos lá. Líbano de branco. As equipes estão já posicionadas. Muito bem bacana. Ali o pessoal se cumprimentando. Em instantes a bola rola lá na Índia, na Mongólia e Líbano. Um jogo amigável, uma competição muito top, né? 4 seleções, né? Jogando entre si para ver quem é melhor. Mandar um bom dia pro Luan Paiva conosco. Hoje tem gol do Hansa Matouki. Ô Luan, bom dia, meu amigo. Seja bem-vindo, fique à vontade. Compartilha, chama todo mundo, tá? Chama todo mundo aí. Me ajuda, por favor, Luan, beleza? Obrigado pela audiência. Tô percebendo que você aí me parece, né, ser igual eu aí, um adepto ao futebol alternativo, jogos de seleções, né? É muito bacana. Mano, qualquer seleção é top demais, tá certo? Vamos lá. Tudo prontinho, as equipes estão se organizando. Vamos juntos na Times Brasil, na mais querida, né? Tentar aqui fazer esse jogo. É claro com algumas dificuldades, né? Devido à pronúncia, né, dos times que eu não sei falar direito, né? Fica um pouquinho complicado. Mas vou tentar aqui da melhor maneira possível, tá bom? Vou passar aqui na escalação, vamos lá. Primeiramente, tá lá o árbitro é o Vencast. O árbitro Vencast. E é isso aí, tá bom? Nada melhor do que acordar uma segunda-feira e acompanhar a Mongólia e Líbano aqui na Times Brasil. Nada melhor, né? Que Mongólia e Líbano logo de manhã, uma segunda-feira, né? Eurocopa Intercontinental 2023 lá na Índia. Tá ali o nome na placa. Estádio cabe em 15 mil pessoas. Vamos lá, escalações. A seleção da Mongólia vem a campo ali no gol. Camisa 1 é o... Agora é a parte complicada. Da Mongólia, camisa 1 é o Kartarven, é o goleiro. 2, Angalabate. 4, Bate Edner. 9, Batikuyang. Rapaz, eu vou esquecer a escalação aqui, tá difícil, hein? 15, Muki Bata. 16, Buyanik. 18, capitão Ugabaya. 19, Todimuk. 20, Gantogtok. 21, Temujin. 23, Unor Erdne. Rapaz, me perdoem, pessoal, me perdoem, mas realmente a pronúncia dos nomes desses jogadores, né? Fica até meio como se fosse uma... Eu falando que zombando, mas de forma alguma, que eu não consigo falar a pronúncia que é diferente, né? Pra mim, meio complicado. Vamos lá, o Líbano, tá lá no gol. O goleiro 21 é o Sabe. 4 é o Arki, meia dúzia. Zen, o 7, capitão Martoki. 8, Tad. 9, Darshing. 14, Mata. 16, Showo. 18, Ayubi. 19, Rafran. 22, Tenichi. E o árbitro apita. Bola rolando. Começa o espetáculo. Mongólia e Líbano ao vivo aqui na Times Brasil. Vem comigo, torcedor. Um belo jogo para acompanhar na segunda-feira de manhã, hein? Um belo jogo lá na Índia. Algo que eu achei interessante, né, nessa competição, quer dizer, lá na Índia, né? Aqui no Brasil, 8 horas e 2 minutos, lá agora são 16 horas e 32 minutos, né? É um fuso horário com meia hora. Nunca vi fuso horário com meia hora assim, né? Quebrado o horário. Diferente, né? Diferente eu achei aí. Tá bom? Vamos lá. Só começando a tocar a bola. Seleção de Líbano. Líbano, para muitos, é o favorito para vencer o jogo, né? Vamos ver se vai conseguir corresponder em campo ali. E é isso aí, né? Já passei a escalação, né? Quem ouviu, parabéns. Quem não ouviu, dificilmente vai ouvir de novo, porque o nome das crianças é bem complicadinho. E vem para ataque a Líbano. Líbano de branco. Seleção libanesa jogando do lado esquerdo e atacando pro lado direito. Já a seleção mongol, né? A seleção da Mongólia de azul. Jogando do lado direito e atacando pro lado esquerdo. Ok, por enquanto quem ganha a bola é Líbano. Vem pro ataque. Tá só começando na Times Brasil, amistoso internacional, uma Copa lá na Índia, muito bacana. Olha só, o ataque vem Líbano, chegou no canto direito, vai vir lançamento para atenção, chegou Líbano, bola muito alta. Chega a bola com perigo, vai para fora, lateral para Mongólia. Um belo jogo na Times Brasil, valeu Luan. E o Everton, essa árvore do Líbano tá parecendo com a árvore que fica no escudo do Boa Vista, do RJ, né, do Rio de Janeiro. Lembra, né? Lembra mesmo, né? Algumas equipes aí tem essa... alguns escudos, né? Temos o Florest, né? Temos algumas equipes aí, Pinheiro, né? Que tem uma árvore, né? Como no seu emblema, né? Acontece bastante, né? Cada equipe foca em alguma característica local, né? Algo parecido. Toca a bola a seleção libanesa, que para muitos é a favorita. Não? O Líbano tá no ranking 99 da FIFA e vem pro ataque. 2 minutinhos. Olha o Líbano no canto esquerdo. Toca a bola. Passe é feito. Seleção libanesa para muitos favorita para vencer o jogo. Vamos ver se acontece, hein? Muito legal, né? Líbano e Mongólia. Mongólia e Líbano, né? E vem Líbano, lançamento na área, corta o zagueirão da Mongólia. Mongólia se defende e só dá Líbano, hein? Só dá Líbano, lateral para Líbano. Só da seleção libanesa na Times Brasil. Um belo jogo, hein? Um belo jogo. Vem comigo, torcedor. Vem comigo, deixa o likezão, fortalece. Me ajudem a fazer essa transmissão acontecer. O seu apoio é importantíssimo, beleza? Obrigado pela audiência, um bom dia, né, para todos os nossos amigos da Times Brasil. Hoje eu não estou evitando fazer muito barulho. Espero que vocês estejam me ouvindo perfeitamente, tá bom? Foi marcado um impedimento no ataque de Líbano. No camisa 7, o capitão estava impedido. Só da Líbano. Começo aí de jogo demonstra que a seleção libanesa é a seleção que vai atacar e a seleção da Mongólia se defende, tá bom? Toca a bola, a seleção ali da Mongólia escapa legal, perdeu a bola, recupera a seleção de Líbano. Sai jogando falta. Falta pra Líbano, no campo defensivo, ó. Um carrinho ali, o juizão vai conversar com o rapaz, ó. Ali o 19 fez a falta. O juizão foi lá conversar com ele, falou calma, perde calma, sem violência, mas foi um carrinho normal, assim, né? Não foi tão grave, não. Chegou, né? Chegou ali atropelando, essa que foi a verdade. Bola pra Líbano, no campo defensivo. Vamos aí, chegando aos 4 minutos da primeira etapa. É um belo jogo, hein? Vem comigo, torcedor, deixa o like, fortalece. Um belo jogo na Times Brasil. Olha lá, diretamente da Índia. E jogão de bola, Mongólia. Líbano, por enquanto só tá dando Líbano. Vem comigo, deixa o like, fortalece. Vamos juntos, na emoção de Mongólia e Líbano na Times Brasil.
We keep coming back to that because of the conditions as well. The onus is to make the field of play as small as possible by keeping it compact with a high line. You can't really stretch opponents very openly in a game like this, in temperatures like this.
And you can see, the way Mongolia set up, they're not pressing high, they're not ready to break their organization. They're happy to defend from the middle of the park. And that's working for them. You just don't want to stay compact and allow spaces in between.
Matuk will take this corner. There's Darwish. In the previous game, they had Kurani as well score from a header. He's on the bench today. Matuk's ball in. Shot comes in. A lot of pace on it, but easily blocked. That was Chain with the attempt. Tanech, pardon me. Here's Matuk again. Nice little dummy. And one more. He manages to squeeze it into the box, clear away. Lebanon with some incessant pressure from the beginning. There was a deflection. It will be another corner.
This is exactly what I meant. Lebanon will build into the game, and why not? When you've got somebody with the caliber of Matuk playing for you, dropping defenders left and right, and finally getting a cross in. A ricochet clearance or a slashed clearance could have led to their first opening goal.
Another corner to defend. The captain with more than 100 appearances for the country. Sending it in. Nicely done as well. Straight towards Al-Farhan. Matuk continues to stay up and in some space. Waiting for a run from Zain. Zain offers the run and offers the ball inside as well. Cleared away by Sodmunk of Mongolia. It's a good work down the wings from the team in white Lebanon.
A good compact defending as of now from Mongolia, but it'll be interesting to see how long they can last this, because it does get frustrating, it gets tiring to keep defending, and at the moment they have their pinned to their own penalty area, and that's going to be really frustrating for them.
And on the earlier replay as well, there's a bit of communication that was lacking between the Lebanese players, because Mathur, when he took that first-time shot, he did have time. And we've seen in previous occasion in games, it's the second wave attack that usually causes problems.
And Lebanon not entirely pleased with their performance in the first game. Alexander Ilic speaking about the physical challenge that Vanuatu offered. This is more open. Darwish with some space, and he skied that on the turn, nicely placed. Just couldn't keep it on target.
Very interesting to see how Matuk switched his side from the right flank to the left flank to build that attack and create that pass for Darwish. But yes, he would be frustrated. He should have kept that on target.
First shot of the game from Darwish, but I do agree with Aditi. He's got the first touch, he's got it under control and a good control, but body on that shot was too far back bent. At least what you need to do is on target. This is something that Ilic also mentioned. He's not happy. There needs to be more, because 23 shots and only 3 goals to show off it isn't the best return.
And Matuk so rugged and very tough to play against. 35 now for Lebanese championships, for Lebanese cups as well, for the number 7 of Lebanon. And a first warning as well for Mongolia. And Gantok Tok goes into the book.
Gantok Tok, that was the only option left because Darwish turned him with the first touch of the ball, and Mongolia knows these are the moments where it could cause trouble, because while they have time, they defend well and they're in shape, but it's the counter-attacking football that could cause issues.
Cross from Zain was cleared away. Not too far from Darwish. Here comes El Hayek. Hassan Saad was well marshalled by Mongolia. But this is faster and a much more confident start from Lebanon.
And I think one of the reasons for that as well is from 8 minutes on the clock, the weather suddenly has this cool air about it. And at this moment, when the temperatures are close to 40, 41 degrees, any bit of respite is accepted and taken advantage of.
And Mongolia, of course, trained at this specific time yesterday, and just to get their bearings around what it will be like again. A bit of a shock as well for them when they flew in. It had just begun snowing back home, so it is jarring. In comes another ball towards Darwish. Well saved by Monk Erdene, the only survivor from that first 11 on day 1 of the Intercontinental Cup. Looks like goalkeepers, always a protected species, Aditi.
Yeah, good decision there by the goalkeeper. It was a flat delivery. He had to get his hands on it on full stretch. Good decision to punch it out rather than giving a second ball and a chance for Darwish to finish it off.
Lots of players with the name Erdene in the Mongolian setup, and Robin was doing some research on what it means. Tell us, Robin.
Yeah, I'd love to do some research and know more about the players on each team and sometimes what their names mean. So the Erdene in this context means jewel, a firm jewel. And at the moment, it's standing strong. The scoreline stands at 0-0. Let's see how long, or is this going to be the time where Alexander Ilic could have more questions about his team? Yes, they've got a win under their belt, but now you need to get a string of them.
A side made of rough diamonds, would you say, Mongolia? Here come Lebanon again. Matuk down the right. Sliding challenge, well done as well by Unur Erdene, who's playing at left back.
And that's exactly the name that I researched on. What does that name mean? And that firm tackle shows us why he's been compared to one of the jewels of Mongolia.
Matuk's attempt was quickly quelled. Nice fast start as well to this game, 11 minutes gone. But this is impressive, isn't it, Aditi? In terms of Mongolia, they don't seem phased. It's very easy to be 183rd in the world, get into a shell and not give your best out there because you're not expected to do well. But no such excuses from this side in blue.
And that comes a lot from the coach and the leadership as well. In the interview, you could hear them say that they're here to build on the past performance and, of course, give experience to the players. And that's what you can see from the performance in the first match and now as well. Yes, Lebanon has been dominating the possession. This was a good challenge by Mongolia's defender.
Yeah, well done by Batar. Had a clattering challenge earlier on in that first game against Sunil Chetri as well. Left a bit of his elbow on the side of the Indian skipper's head.
I love my physical battles. I love when defenders try
getting an elbow into your head.
Yeah, why not? I think it's you do as you get. So if you're happy to give one away, then be ready for another one coming your way as well.
I heard of a lot of defenders talk about your elbows into their faces when you would be backing into them.
I wonder why. These defenders haven't spoken to me.
Probably don't like you. Here's Matuk again. Towards Hassan Saad, who needs to make an impact down the left. He's been played in a few times, Aditi, but doesn't seem to find that half a yard to cross it in.
Yeah, and from both the sides, from both the flanks, we can see a good use of the wings. There's a clear strategy of keeping the width and putting on those crosses, but those crosses need to be delivered properly and in the right spaces where you have your teammates to finish them off. which till now I think is something that they really need to build on. We have seen that in the previous match as well.
Just trying to play an intricate pass into the box again. Just seems sometimes that Lebanon try to be too precise with that ball into the box, especially that cut back. They can be more direct. They have players who can shoot from a distance from the edge of the area.
One of the reasons for those cutbacks have to be that they've got 3 centre-backs of Mongolia in the box covering that 6 yard off their goal itself. So trying to get that cross in, trying to find them at the end of a cross or even like a through ball is becoming difficult. So the only option left as such is...
There's some confusion and almost a hazard. It almost seemed as if the ball did cross the line. Lebanon are not complaining. The referees are all in sync. But we will have to look at that replay. Miscommunication and what it can lead to. Exhibit A.
Wow, what did we just see?
Just in terms of communication, Aditi, what went wrong here?
A lot went wrong here. It seems, I think the defender probably wasn't looking. There wasn't a clear communication. It did seem like the ball had crossed the line, but the goal has not been given. There should have been better communication from the goalkeeper and from the defender. They're lucky that it's not 1-0 right now.
Conversation between Ilic, the head coach, and the referee exactly on that. Ilic claiming that the ball might have crossed the line.
From our first views, the ball did cross the line, but something that needs to be mentioned is Darvish. As much as praise that comes his way, he needs to work on his finishing. He had an open goal in front of him, tried to put it with the side of his foot. You've got the whole goal in front of you. Just toe poke it in. A goal's a goal no matter how it goes in.
15 minutes into the game, and it's a pertinent question, especially for the two of you, a goalkeeper and a striker. In terms of this weather, this condition, who has the easier game? The keepers? Aditi, you were mentioning the brain burning so many calories trying to concentrate. A striker doesn't have to move as much as midfielders and the fullbacks too.
I think strikers have the easier job because when you are running down against defenders, you have that bit of air on your face because of just your running patterns. For goalkeepers in such temperatures, it kind of gets difficult because you are trying to be vocal from the back and still holding on to your position while the sun bears down on you. I think it gets a little more difficult for keepers.
I would agree there with Robin because you're literally just standing in the sun and just shouting, and that gets your head really hot. So that definitely, tires you out even more. But of course, we've studied that there are reports that if you've seen the replay here, though, it did seem in the first glance that the entire ball had crossed the line, but the referee doesn't agree and has not given the goal.
You know what's interesting there is the boot mark left by the standing foot of the player who cleared the ball away, which was just on the line, not quite across. Does that mean the ball was also not wholly across the line?
I think one of the reasons that the referee also didn't give it is, yes, I agree with you, Pulasta, where the foot wasn't completely in, but the last glimpse of that replay, the ball did not look like it fully went into the goal. So hats off to the referee. To even the referee standing in the sun trying to get decisions right is not an easy task.
Yeah, and speaking to the referees earlier as well for a quick conversation on the conditions, and Harish Kundu talking about how referees can't go down and hold their knees, they can't take a breather, they can't sit down. There are cooling breaks, but not as much hydration opportunities as the players have. It's not an easy job out there for the officials as well, who are concentrating under pressure and running along with the game.
Not at all. I think the referees also, it is a difficult afternoon for them today specifically. Temperature 41 degrees, and as much as the players get to move the ball around, run and chase, the referees need their attention, complete attention, to make sure that they get the decisions right. And also, when we were speaking to Harish Kundu and asked him, what about the injuries in the first game? He said there was some sort of heat that was getting to these players. So keeping everything and all of those things in check, including health conditions, is very important, and it's a commendable job from the referees.
Alexander Ilic speaking about Lebanon and the demands of being head coach of a country which expects so much more. Compare that with the expectations in India and then increase the rankings by quite a few to find Lebanon and their record especially over the last 20-30 years. And the players that they have, for the likes of Darwish as well, born in Berlin, has a German and a Lebanon citizenship. Lots of experience there in the likes of Matuk, Matar, Darwish. And of course Saad Hassan, having played for the likes of Sporting and in Kansas City. We know who else has that, or those clubs, on his CV. We'll talk about that after this corner. Buya Nemek will take the corner. Slightly problematic, Lebanon first unable to clear their lines fully, but an offside flag also going up.
I think this was a training ground routine, trying to get that first ball in through the floor, just trying to get a flick on, but again, well aware from Lebanese defenders. We saw what happens when they even try to switch off a little bit. One of the examples has to be the Vanuatu quick equalizer. Was from a set piece. Lebanese players did put the wall up, but weren't aware where the runners are next.
El Hayek moving it towards Darwish. Darwish spoke, and this time he was onside as well. He seems to be missing those chances time and again.
Darwish would be extremely disappointed. Again, a beautiful delivery behind the defenders. He's onside, looking into the replay, and should have finished that ball. And clearly you can see a lack of communication again between the centre-back and the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper seemed to be caught in between. Wasn't really clear on his decision. And that's something that can be difficult for them to manage in the rest of the game.
That was a great run from Darwish for that ball, and for me he should have used his left foot. He's trying to let the ball run across his body, opening his right. One of the reasons why the ball just jumps over.
A couple of chances for Darwish early on. Excellent positioning, timing of the run, where he is, all of that is right, and it all makes up for a striker's repertoire of what he has in the arsenal.
I think the runs, the fitness levels can all be worked upon, including finishing, and finishing is something that Darwish will definitely want to work upon. He's 24 years old, he's got a great work rate, but the finishing is something that is missing, and here's another angle of the same. This is where I think he could have used his left foot, because he was in front of the defender. The defender has no clue where he is. Just use your left foot, get that finish, get that firm finish that we speak of from strikers. Keeping it simple sometimes is the hardest thing to do.
Another corner. And the previous one that Mongolia took was absolutely harmless. This time Ugan Bayar, number 18, will take it. A player who plays in the heart of Mongolia's midfield. There's some smart movement inside the box. So Ugan Bayar's ball inside. It's just gone away from Munk Erdene's head.
Looking at Mongolia's performance so far, you have to wonder that the 10 changes that they've made, that is definitely affecting the quality of the game that we saw. If we compare it with the game that we saw against India, there's definitely a dip in that quality today, and that could be a reason why they're not able to come out of their block and really put some pressure on the Lebanon goal tonight.
I think one of the reasons, or one change that we could see as the game goes on, definitely in the second half, will be Sen Dayush, who was marshalling the midfield against India in the previous game. Bringing him on as this game goes on will be helpful for Mongolia, because the scoreline right now is very well for Mongolia. They've done their defensive duties, but you got to get a win today, and they will need a win. As much as Lebanon needs the win, so does Mongolia.
Yeah, their head coach Ichiro Atsuka, and making it clear he wants every player to get minutes in India. His eyes are not only on the Intercontinental Cup or the trophy. His eyes are on preparing for the World Cup qualifiers, and he says that for that the foundation of defense has to be strong, and that is why each and every player will get an opportunity. It is smart in a way, because everyone who's made the trip will have made this trip for something.
Absolutely, and like I said, these kind of experiences, the exposure that you get by playing against higher ranked teams in a foreign country is something that you learn a lot from, and there are a lot of youngsters in this squad. Like I said, there are 10 new players playing tonight, and you can certainly see the improvement in communication in that last ball that was played. So these are the things that you build on, that you'll keep learning and improving as you play more matches.
Just trying to play that through. Second time, almost successful. Sodmunk, however, was turning back, tries to press his man, and does well indeed. Wins a throw in for his side. He's been a live wire, Sodmunk.
He's been great up front, chasing down lost causes at points, running down the channel for Mongolia and on those through balls. And Otsuka Ichiro will be happy. Me and you were talking about where all this coach has been, and when we're looking at the data that some of the school level football has provided is impeccable. The details on that, including yellow cards in minutes at school level, is amazing.
Tayoma Daiichi, that's the school where Chiro Atsuka made his name from 2012 to 2021, and there are statistics on Tayoma Daiichi's performances under Atsuka, and the minute he took over, the winning rate went from something like 18% to a staggering 60-odd% over the next few years, and every game is detail, and that Japanese obsession for detail might be bleeding into Mongolia as well, and the preparations that they're doing for their World Cup qualifiers.
And I think that's important. You know, we speak about the leagues of each country, the system of each country, but sometimes what matters is also the base on what the league of the country is built, the talent of the country comes out from, and getting everything and all that data from schools all the way till the top league is very important. You know what a player can bring, you know how much a player has grown, and that shows why Japan is high up.
I wonder if you knew this, Aditi, but during the school games long back, we'll come to that in a second because it needs your attention. Here's Al-Farhan at this point for Lebanon. Tried to set up Matuk, but long back, Robin Singh in the school game played as goalkeeper.
Did he?
Yeah, astonishing.
No wonder he's been removed from that position.
If I played in Japan, I would have proof of that. But yeah, I did play as a goalkeeper in Maldives for my school team. Scored, and then the coach said, need you in goal this time.
Robin, were you fired from that position?
I'll tell, there's a funny story where there was a shot. The ball went through my arms, went onto the crossbar, came back into my arms.
Fantastic. Yeah, Mongolia slowly eating into possession as well. Showing a lot more adventure going forward. Trying to play those forward passes. They do grow in confidence. Even in that second half against India, they grew in confidence in defense. Maybe not in attack. They didn't produce as much, but they were a solid unit. They didn't make it easy for India after conceding 2 quick goals. We thought 5-0, 6-0, something like that. It was very difficult to break them down.
Absolutely. In the second half, the score was 0-0. So a lot of credit to the Mongolian side for keeping that composure, keeping the focus, and not letting India score. And you can see the similar level of concentration today against Lebanon.
Another nice interception as Badbatar Temujin and Gontoktok, the three-man backline of Mongolia, and managed to keep things tight and simple. Matuk stopped in his tracks by Ugan Bath, the right wing back.
As much as Mongolia is defending well, we have to question Lebanon's quality in the final third. They've been giving away the possession very cheaply. I think they can have more composure in the final third, build up the attack a little bit more, not give away the ball very easily. Because they are dominating the possession. It's just about keeping that head in the final third and really find those spaces and find the right moment to finish off those balls.
I think what Mongolia can do better is, as much as we've spoken about Saad Munk, he's been alone up front, chasing down causes. The likes of Munk and Dene should be helping him, supporting him to make something out of the attack. Because I do agree with Aditi, they've not created much. It's just been running behind the balls, and that final third or that final pass hasn't been the greatest.
Very important, this cooling break, but very, very good to see that no players have gone down, clutching their heads. Nobody's dizzy. They have learned about hydration. You can see some of them have already covered 3+ kilometers in less than half an hour.
That's great work ethic, especially in this heat. We did speak of Mongolia will have to defend a lot, and that stat shows you the same. All of those distances covered on that data or stat was Mongolian defenders. But if I could add on to what Aditi was talking about, goalkeepers, and it's harder for them, this is a prime example of that. There's heat, there will be a bit of miscommunication. Paul, as much as I keep seeing it over and over again, use your point one, use your toe to finish it. Again, from Mongolia, great character shown, not to give up, just clear their lines, making sure the score stays 0-0.
Of course, the finish could have been better, but my question is, if that wasn't a goal, shouldn't that have been a penalty? Because there was a clear push from the goalkeeper.
You tell me. It was a push. It did seem like it.
For me, it was a penalty.
But does it always also come down to the fact what is the intensity of that push? He did make Darwish slightly imbalanced, but the striker is still clear favourite to put the ball in the back of the net.
Absolutely, taking nothing away. He should have finished the ball. I don't know. Again, that's something that Darwish will have to really work on. We've seen that he's not been finishing his chances, and that you don't get a better opportunity than that. It's an open goal. The goalkeeper's nowhere there. The defender's not there. It's just that white line that you need to cross, and not being able to finish it has to be really, really disappointing.
He has been disappointing the way he's got into some beautiful positions in the first 30 minutes of this game. He has to do better. He's got an open goal in front of him on one occasion. He's got behind the defender on the second occasion. It's just that final decision making that's lacking, because his work rate and getting into the right positions is still there. That's great signs from a 24-year-old striker.
70% of the ball with Lebanon. No surprises there. Mongolia's 30%, mostly in defense, and very rare going forward. A couple of corner set piece opportunities that they've created. Here's Matuk, trying to get through a crowd of blue, unable to do so. Everything coming down the left. And they have the likes of Zain and Al-Farhan down the right. Here's the former, as they keep getting higher and higher up the pitch with their defense line. Matuk, El Hayek goes past one. El Hayek trying to 360 his way past the second challenge, but he was fouled in the process by Munk Batar just outside the box.
Again, the frustration, the tiredness creeping in. You could see that from that tackle there. Clear foul there. Didn't get any of the ball. It was a tackle right at the foot of Muhammad Al Hayek, getting a foul, a set piece.
I think it's great footwork from Al Hayek to begin with, but on the other occasion, I think more than frustration from Munk Batar, it's the inexperience of games. They've played games, yes, but higher oppositions come with high intelligence as well. And that's something that Lebanon will bring to this game. The possession stats show it, and the work rate that Mongolia has put in shows that as well. The distances covered shows that as well. But this is where you got to keep your head. You got to learn quick. Football is a game where you got to adapt to the situation very, very quickly.
Yeah, Munkbatar went into the book for that challenge. So 2 players for Mongolia. On yellows, Gantok Tok and Munkbatar. Here's Matuk. That ball never came down. I wanted to surprise the goalkeeper, it seemed.
I was surprised with that free kick. Surprised to see that he went for the goal from that angle. Could have played to one of his teammates who was free in the penalty area. I think that could have been a better option because he was clearly unmarked there, one of the players. A tight angle to go for goal from there.
Steadier first half an hour in this game. Not very stop-start. One more day of the round-robin fixtures after a couple of days, and then the final on the 18th. Unur Erdene with the most number of sprints. Playing down the left, Unur Erdene, along with the likes of Al Farhan, who he has to be chasing.
But you know what's surprising to see with the work rate that Darwish has put in to get into positions, his name is not in the distances covered or the sprints made. So that just shows he's got a good intelligence about him himself. He knows when to move, he knows when to make that final run.
El Hayek, another teasing delivery, and then cleared away once again by Unur Erdene. Here's Zain. Al Farhan. Zain trying to continue his run. Clumsily brought down by the referee, looking away.
He was looking for that foul. There was a bit of miscommunication between the Lebanese players and just wanted that foul. Just anything will do at this point of time. Yes, I agree. 34 minutes on the clock. The heat is still there. But you got to still continue. This is something that Lebanon needs to work on, even with Vanuatu. As soon as they scored, they kind of switched on, and that could cause issues as Lebanese players keep going forward and keep growing into not just this tournament, but in their international football.
Especially the fact that Lebanon is the best-ranked team here in this tournament, and they have qualified for the AFC Asia Cup as well. They've been tied up in Group A against Qatar, China, Tajikistan. So, of course, they're also trying to get as much experience as they can, and they wouldn't be entirely happy with the kind of performance that we've seen from Lebanon in these first 2 matches. Yes, they've dominated the possession today, but they have nothing to show for it.
On that note, just to pull a positive out of that conversation, Lebanon did get their goals in the second half, so hopefully they can do the same once the sun goes down.
Shur, just stepping up into attack. Combining with Tanech, and here's Matuk all over that front line. Couldn't get it out of his feet though. Zain.
That's my worry with Lebanon, because these are weaker opponents. Here they're finding it difficult to put the ball at the back of this net. This was a good, again, a good positioning by the goalkeeper to keep the ball away from Lebanon feet, and then clearance by the Mongolian defenders.
Matuk with the attempt straight towards Munkerdene, and then a wild lash from Al Farhan on the rebound. Another chance goes begging for Lebanon.
Again, a missed opportunity. A great first attempt punched out by the goalkeeper. Although I feel he should have collected it, it's not really clever to give a rebound in that area. It can be really dangerous, but Lebanon just not having that quality to finish those rebounds.
At the same time, I think it lacked composure as well. There were teammates present in the box. Just take that touch, put a minus ball in, do the simple things right. That's more important than getting a shot off at goal or even getting your name on the score sheet.
And that's exactly my point. This is the experience that you want to learn and improve against a weaker opponent like Mongolia, because you're only going to get tougher opponents and fewer chances against those tougher opponents.
And Lebanon will keep trying and keep pushing. Here's Matar. Slightly in a deeper role. I wonder if that takes away from his attacking threat. Kept in by El Hayek. One way then the other, but the defender saw that coming. And making sure the cross is not in the box on that occasion. Mongolia happy to sit back and defend, get their shape right, get their concentration right. Sein. Matuk. Flag had gone up.
Again, Lebanon trying to build attacks down the wing, and this time winning a free kick. Could say it was an unintentional handball, but according to the new rules, if it's not in a natural position, your hand, it's a free kick. Set piece opportunity. They got all of their 3 goals in the past game with set pieces. Could this be the deadlock breaker for Lebanon?
Matuk standing over this. In the previous one, he went for a shot. This one, the angle is favorable for a good ball in, which it is. Darwish sends it in, and then it just goes over harmlessly via Ayub, the centre-back who had stayed up. He's taken a bit of a knock to the head as well.
A beautiful delivery again by Matuk to the far post. Well done to keep it in, but Ayub again couldn't keep it on target. Good defending again by Mongolia, keeping it tight, not allowing a lot of space for Ayub to have a clear header on the ball, and that's worked for them.
And Mongolia's defending uncannily good and keeps growing over the course of a game, and which is why it was important even in the previous game for India to hit them quickly. The first 2 goals, bang bang, and then they couldn't break them down because it seems like you cannot allow them the time to settle in a game.
According to me, one of the ways to break down a compact defense, a defense with numbers, is just keep moving the ball really, really quickly, because we saw the distance stats a couple of minutes back. It was all Mongolian players, so they are going to tire out. As the game goes on, they will tire out. Yes, there could be new legs or fresh legs in the second half, but 45 minutes to tire someone out, but just doing the simple things right. Play what you see, pass what you see, and gaps will open. It's as much as we speak about, hunger, desire, character in a football game, it's also about a game of mistakes. The lesser mistake made by any team is the team that usually wins.
El Hayek was looking for that through ball towards Darwish, who has made those once part of his trademark movement. Likes playing off the shoulder of the last man. Lots of offsides in the first game, but not too many this time. Keeping those runs in check. Another free kick given by the referee, and they've taken it quickly, Lebanon. Hassan Saad went for the shot, Hassan Saad, and straight to the keeper, Munk Erdene.
Shot from quite a distance, ended up as an easy collection for the goalkeeper. He would not mind that at all. Can take that all day long. And this is something that I feel Lebanon really need to work on. The final third, the composure in the final third. Should just rotate the ball, find those spaces, try to disorganize this very, very compact and organized Mongolian side and try to break them.
Speaking of breaking, Ogan Bayar with a strong tackle. But the one previous to this, I really don't think it was a foul. There was a perfect use of a shoulder, just pushing the defender out of the way.
Another opportunity to create something wasted by Lebanon. Matuk not happy. He knows he can do better.
And he should have done better. They just 2-3 players there versus 5 defenders. He could have just played the ball at the back, kept the ball, and create a better chance. Matuk, who's very, very experienced, the most capped player in this Lebanon side, should have done better.
visual that we just saw a bit earlier was Alexander Ilic, and I was looking at him when the cross came in. He's not really happy with his team. They need to do better. The final ball, the final delivery hasn't been the best, and that's something that's going to bother him. 3 goals in the previous game and nothing now. With the lowest ranked side of the competition, he will want to do better. He will want his side to do better. He will want Darwish to do better. He's got a few opportunities.
Yeah, Ilic immediately going to the assistant. His body language almost giving it away. What are they doing in terms of the delivery? Matuk again. And it's overhit once again.
Matuk has been the most influential player in this first 43 minutes. But again, you could see in that ball as well, that final delivery is just missing. It's either been overhit or it's been intercepted. Interception credit goes to Mongolia, but that's 2 out of 5 balls or 2 out of 3 balls. The other 3 have to be better from Lebanon.
You have to question the decision-making of these Lebanon attackers, especially in the final third. And oftentimes when these balls are overhit, it's also because you're confused, you're double-minded. What's the better decision there? Whether to go for a goal, go for a cross, or just keep the ball in play, just keep rotating the ball amongst themselves and try to find those spaces.
Yeah, Matuk is that master of finding spaces. El Hayek. And the measurements, they're just not getting them right.
Another overhit cross from Lebanon, and we can see the frustration not just creeping in on the players but the coach as well. He's not happy with the delivery. He shouldn't be happy with the delivery. Lebanon can do much better. They have the talent to do much better.
We've seen in those couple of opportunities that yes, the crosses have been overhit, but I feel the width, the finger on the other side of those crosses are not providing the width to come in from the outside rather than they've stayed inside, and that's why the ball's gone past them. So that's something that they can work on. Just keep the width and come in from the out when those crosses are coming in.
5 minutes added on. Alexander Ilic, decent playing career for the Lebanon head coach. Clubs like Red Star Belgrade on his CV, 2-time Belgian top division champion as a player. So he is demanding, he expects, and he knows the expectations back home in Lebanon as well. And it's so interesting to see how other Asian countries are preparing for the Asian Cup. Eyes not only just on India, of course, as the host nation, we have an extra interest in what India do. It's always nice to see what the other countries around India's rankings are doing. Slight confusion and almost broke, almost for Munkerdene, the number 9 for Mongolia. And now the break at the other end, Hassan Saad trying to get past Ugan Bat. Here's Darwish, and Darwish is offside.
Darwish, I think, just went a little early in my first views. But great play again. See, it was little, but I was wrong. It was not offside at all. But this is what led to the attack, or the counter-attack, and a toe from the Lebanese defenders finally coming to stop that ball that could have gone to Munkerdene, as you said.
Players down for Lebanon. Not a good sign. Shur starting the game at centre-back. I wonder if it's the knee or the calf.
And if I'm not wrong, he was the one that got that final toe poke to make sure that the ball does not reach Munkerdene. So hopefully he's okay, but again, we'll come back to the temperatures, the taping on his leg, the overstretch. 47 minutes on the clock, could be anything, but the positive part of all of that is that he's walking off, he's jogging off.
Top speeds in this game so far. Al-Farhan down the right wing. And the Mongolians as well some of them in there. There is space on the pitch, but one can understand why they're not burning it all just yet. You simply can't. There's a rubber track around the pitch as well, which is also burning up. A good pace once again from Sodmunk. It's not easy to deal with. He did not start the first game, Sodmunk, but making a claim to start in that 11.
And I think he's made a great claim. He's been chasing down lost causes, as I said before. But Lebanese defenders doing very well to win that free kick. Again, a soft foul, I feel. Sodmunk, credit for him to chase down a lost cause, chasing down till the ball goes out, and rightly so, leaving his claim on being on the first 11.
Another attempt. Once again, it was Hassan Saad. Was getting a bit impatient. Second time now that he's taken a shot from distance.
Yes, Hassan Saad with a lot of experience there, finding a little bit of space, although he was quickly closed down, but decided to take a shot, although it was off target. Again, a little bit of frustration building up there.
Just trying another route, the Lebanon. Not getting into the box and trying those cutbacks. Then they went for the crosses from outside the box, and those didn't work out, and now they are trying to get something on target, put some pressure on Munk Erdene, hope for a rebound, something of that sort.
But again, it comes down to decision making, when to make those, whether you're taking a shot from distance or trying to play a through ball. It's very important to choose the moment of doing those or playing those passes or taking a shot.
Sodmunk was fouled. Sure, with not the best reaction. The referee's going to give him a talking to.
Khalid Shur getting a talking to. Just a little earlier, this is why Mongolia have a free kick, and the afters is why Walid Shur got a talking to. Just tried to kick the ball away, tried to gain some time, but modern day football, the further you kick it away, the quicker the ball boy gets you with the ball.
Temujin will take this. Probably the last play of this half as we cross the 50-minute mark. Easily dealt with. Sent back in. And there's a touch from Zain. Mongolia keeping up the pressure, and an attempt in the end from Ugan Bayar, which is off target.
As much as we've been talking about Lebanese most of this half, players like Ugan Bayar and Sodmuk and Mokardene have gone a bit under the radar with their work rate, trying to get their shots off, chasing defenders down. The coach will be happy for all of that effort, because he will, I'm sure, make some changes coming the second half.
Not afraid to ring in the changes either, Ichiro Atsuka. Probably one final attack might be allowed to Lebanon. Matuk. This is much better from Matuk, and almost an own goal. Putting pressure, looking for Darwish. Found a blue shirt instead. And that blue shirt, Temujin almost putting it into his own net.
Again, Matuk being the most influential player. Darwish was present inside that, but Batar with that touch could have gone anywhere. But this time goes in his favor, goes over the crossbar.
Matar on the corner. And cleared away. And that's that for the first half. Mongolia 0, Lebanon.
Belezinha, pessoal, belezinha? Bom dia a todos que estão conosco. Eu sou o Lucas Bazarello. Estamos aí no nosso intervalinho triunfante aqui da Times Brasil. Infelizmente, né, a rede não balançou na primeira etapa, onde a seleção do Líbano foi muito superior do que a Mongólia nesse torneio amistoso, uma Copa amistosa disputada lá na Índia, tá bom? É a Internacional COPA da Índia. São 4 seleções: Índia, Vanuatu, Mongólia e Líbano, tá certo? Estamos aí na segunda rodada da competição. Mandar um bom dia aí para Traira Matos, né? Para Traira, pô, 0 a 0 aí, né? Vai perder R$500 o caso desse jogo. Calma, boa sorte, torcer pra você bastante pra dar certo. Traira Matos, também o Fernando, aqui de São Paulo, Fernando Mazoca, o meu amigo Jamil Fiode Neto, grande Jamil, a Maria Edileuza, pessoal participando conosco aí, o João Lucas, o Luan Paiva, o Everton. E é isso aí, tá certo? Fim de papo, game over no primeiro tempo, né? Vamos esperar porque ainda o jogo não acabou, tá bom? Vou passar aqui rapidamente, ó o que acontece? Vamos lá, pegar o histórico dos dois times, tá bom? A seleção hoje da Mongólia, né, seleção mandante, em 2023, nesse ano aqui, já jogou 3 jogos. Olhem só, a Mongólia em 2023 jogou 3 jogos. Olha só que coisa. Como todos imaginam, são 3 jogos e 3 derrotas. 3 derrotas. Incrível que pareça, em apenas 3 jogos disputados, a seleção da Mongólia tomou, incrível que pareça, 14 gols. É isso mesmo, a Mongólia em 3 jogos em 2023 tomou, né, 14 gols e fez 2. Olha só as equipes que enfrentou, fica vendo. A Mongólia em março, dia 25 de março, jogou contra a Geórgia. Geórgia, que é um país pequeno da Europa, tá bom? Foi 6-1 para a Geórgia. Isso mesmo. A Mongólia tomou 6-1 da Geórgia. Dia 25 de março. Depois, dia 28 de março, ela jogou contra o Dinamo Batumi, que é uma equipe da Geórgia. Olha só que coisa. A seleção da Mongólia, no dia 28 de março, fez um amistoso aí contra a equipe, né, um clube de futebol, Dinamo Batumi, lá da Geórgia, e tomou também 6-1, né? Tomou 6-1 da Geórgia, a seleção, depois tomou 6-1 do time do Dinamo Batumi da Geórgia, também 6-1. E agora, no dia 9, né, na Copa Intercontinental, né, aqui da Índia, que é esse mesmo torneio aqui, a seleção da Índia venceu a Mongólia por 2-0. Dia 9, né, de junho, agora, a Índia venceu a Mongólia por 2-0. Então, assim, a Mongólia em 3 jogos em 2023, 3 derrotas, sofreu 14 gols e fez apenas 2. É isso aí, não dá para se esperar muito da Mongólia. Pessoal, muito obrigado, tá? Bom dia, sejam bem-vindos. Por favor, fique à vontade, deixa o seu like, tá? Comenta, participa, tá bom? Vou passar aqui nos comentários, vamos ver. Flaviane Colucci, acho que é isso o nome. Colucci, parece aquela dos rebeldes, né? A Mia Colucci, lembra? Flaviane Colucci. Será que sai pelo menos um gol no segundo tempo? Acho que sai. A seleção do Líbano é boa, não é ruim não. Ele teve algumas oportunidades, o Líbano jogou muito bem, só que não conseguiu fazer o gol, mas ficou bem próximo, tentou até o finalzinho, quase conseguiu. O meu amigo aí, o Cleiton Pereira de Souza, Líbano tá perdendo tempo. Então, o Líbano jogou muito bem, mas não fez o gol, né, Cleiton? Vamos ver como vai ser a segunda etapa. E assim, ó, olha, agora pegar aqui o histórico recente aí da seleção libanesa, vamos lá. O Líbano jogou apenas 2 jogos em 2022, né? Foi ali em novembro, dezembro, vamos ver. O Líbano em 2022, em novembro e em dezembro, foram 2 jogos, 2 derrotas. Perdeu para a seleção do Quart, né? Parece Guaraná, né? Refrigerante. Quart 2-0 para cima do Líbano e também perdeu para o Emirados Árabes Unidos, né? Emirados Árabes Unidos 1-0. Perdeu para o Líbano, perdeu para o Quart 2-0 e perdeu para o Emirados Árabes Unidos por 1-0. Já em 2023, foram 2 jogos. Em 2023, em março, enfrentou a seleção de Omã, perdeu por 2-0 e agora, no dia 9 de junho, enfrentou Vanuatu, aqui nesse torneio amistoso na Índia, né, que hoje é a mesma competição. No dia 9 agora, o Líbano venceu a seleção de Vanuatu por 3-1. Então, assim, se você for ver assim, os dois times não enfrentaram adversários tão difíceis, né? A Mongólia perdeu, né, 3 jogos em 2023, né? Foram 3 jogos, 3 derrotas, e o Líbano teve Teve aí um jogo em dezembro, ó, teve um jogo em novembro, um em dezembro, aí teve um em março e um agora em junho. 4 jogos, 3 derrotas e uma vitória. Não dá pra se esperar muito, né? Se eu for pegar o ranking da FIFA, eu coloquei no chat, vocês podem ver o ranking da FIFA aí, ó. Coloquei aí, ó, então vou voltar um pouco no chat, tá aí a mensagem, ó. Ó, Mongólia, no ranking da FIFA, 183. Pô, não dá pra esperar muito uma seleção que tá no ranking da FIFA de 211, né? A FIFA tem mais associados do que propriamente países ali reconhecidos, né? A FIFA tem 211, né? 211 seleções ali filiadas. San Marino é a pior, né? Tá no ranking 211, depois tem a Anguilha, aí vai subindo Ilhas Virgens Britânicas, né? Ilhas Virgens Americanas, Somália, Gibraltar, entre outras, aí vai chegando, a Mongólia tá em 183. Pô, de 211, tá no ranking 183, pra você ver, o Brasil tá em terceiro, né? Atualmente é Argentina, Bélgica e Brasil, se não estiver enganado, no ranking da FIFA, né? Diferença pouca aí. Então, a Mongólia 183 no ranking da FIFA e o Brasil no ranking 3 atualmente. O Líbano em 99. Se for pegar pelo ranking da FIFA, né, o Líbano tá bem à frente da Mongólia. Líbano em 99 no ranking da FIFA e a Mongólia em 183. Tem uma bela diferença, hein? Uma bela diferença aí, tá bom? Eu imagino que o segundo tempo vai ser diferente. Porque o que acontece? Diferente de outros amistosos que estão rolando aí pra você ver. Hoje tem Alemanha... Não, eu acho que a Alemanha e Ucrânia, não lembro, eu acho que é a Ucrânia, eu acho. Hoje tem um jogo da Alemanha. É amistoso. Só que esse aqui também é amistoso, data FIFA, só que é uma competição. É a Copa Intercontinental da Índia. Temos a Índia, o Líbano, Vanuatu e Mongólia. 4 seleções, elas jogam entre si, né? Um turno ali, sabe? Cada uma enfrenta cada uma. São 3 jogos. As 2 primeiras avançam para a final. Não é ali uma competição, tal, ali tudo e tal. Né, mais uma competição amistosa e todos querem vencer, né? Então assim, eu acho que tem ali pouco, mas tem ali bem pouquinho, mas tem aquela vontade de querer classificar, né, para tentar ali, na final ter um título, né, tal. São países que não ganham muito títulos, qualquer título que você vence tá valendo, né? Líbano, Índia, Vanuatu e Mongólia. Tivemos a primeira rodada, o Líbano venceu Vanuatu por 3-1. A Índia venceu a Mongólia por 2-0. Agora estamos na segunda rodada. Mongólia e Líbano, e ainda hoje às 11 horas, eu acho, tem Índia e Vanuatu. Aí já nessa semana, dia 15, né? Quinta-feira tem a terceira e última rodada da fase de grupo, né? Vanuatu e Mongólia, Índia e Líbano. Aí os 2 primeiros vão para a final, né? Final dia 18, também conhecido como domingo, dia 18 é a final. Todos os jogos no mesmo estádio Kalinga, lá na Índia, lá na cidade de Bhubaneswar, não sei falar não, cidade que difícil para falar o nome, ó. Estádio Kalinga em Bhubaneswar, é quase isso aí, beleza? Então é isso, aqui eu sou o Lucas Bazarello da Times Brasil, um cara apaixonado pelo futebol. Sejam bem-vindos, fique à vontade, pode participar no chat. Daqui a pouco tem a segunda etapa de Mongólia e Líbano aqui na Times Brasil, muito legal. Uma coisa que eu achei interessante, né? E, por exemplo, aqui no Brasil, o jogo foi marcado para as 8 horas da manhã. E lá na Índia, foi marcado para as 16h30. Normalmente, quando tem fuso horário, né? São horários redondos, né? Tipo, aqui no Brasil é 8 da manhã. Aí em Portugal, tipo, é meio-dia. Sabe? Não tem esse, tipo, meio-dia e meia. Eu achei interessante. Não sabia, né? Sinceramente, aí. A diferença de fuso horário aí tem meia hora também, contando. Ó, vamos lá. 8 horas começou, né? 8, 9, 10, 11, meio-dia, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Calma aí. 8 horas. 9, 10, 11, meio-dia, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tem 8 horas e meias. 8 horas e meia fuso horário do Brasil e Índia. Interessante, né? 8 horas e meia de fuso horário. O Roberto Santos, né, colocou aqui, hashtag Mongólia, o Roberto Santos tá torcendo pra Mongólia. Mongólia no ranking 183 da FIFA e Líbano no ranking 99. 0-0 por enquanto, jogo interessante, apesar do Líbano ter sido bem melhor, teve bastante posse de bola, pra você ter noção. Líbano teve 77% de bola. 77%. Foram 10 finalizações. 10 finalizações contra 2 da Mongólia. Sendo que as da Mongólia não causaram nenhum perigo. Agora o Líbano chegou bastante perigoso. Teve uma bola ali que o goleiro defendeu. Teve uma outra que passou muito próxima no gol. O Líbano criou bastante. Eu acho que a tendência é a seleção libanesa fazer os gols, porque é o time que ataca, né? É o time que joga pra frente, é Líbano. E a seleção da Mongólia é bem ali defensiva, hein? Vamos ver como que vem pra segunda etapa, né? Nesse momento também tá rolando um jogo amistoso do México e da Austrália, só que é sub-23, tá bom? Um jogo aí em andamento, México e Austrália, sub-23, as duas seleções, tá 0-0. E também, né, tá rolando um jogo aí do campeonato de Belarus, a liga reserva, né? O Energic e o Belchina ali, Belchina 0-0. Temos 3 jogos rolando nesse momento, ó. Lá o campeonato da liga de reservas de Belarus, 0-0. Esse México e Austrália sub-23, 0-0. E aqui Mongólia e Líbano no intervalo, 0-0. Rapaz, só jogão. São poucas opções agora. Tá chegando esse fim de temporada europeia, né? Vai acabando os jogos, né? Entra a data FIFA, um ou outro jogo, né? Por enquanto tá começando a data FIFA. Aí daqui a pouco vai ter vários jogos bacanas pra você acompanhar, tá certo? Obrigado, seja bem-vindo. Estamos ao vivo aí. Um jogo bem diferente, né? Um jogo bastante alternativo. Fica à vontade, pode participar, tá bom? Todas as partidas acontecem no mesmo estádio, estádio Kalinga, lá na Índia. Ali, bem no canto leste ali da Índia, né? Bem ali lá da praia, né? Tá bom? Esse estádio cabe em apenas 15 mil pessoas, mas parece que cabe mais, hein? A aparência. Essa competição, ela acontece aí deixa eu ver, 2018. Desde 2018 é uma Copa Euro intercontinental ali da Índia, né? Em 2018 tiveram a Índia, Quênia, Nova Zelândia e Taipei chinês. Aí em 2019 teve a Coreia do Norte, foi campeã, Tajiquistão, Síria e Índia. Rapaz, Coreia do Norte ganhou, é atual campeão. A Coreia do Norte é atual campeão dessa Copa Amistosa da Índia, hein? Essa é a terceira edição, a primeira a Índia foi campeã, a segunda edição a Coreia do Norte foi campeã e agora em 2023 em andamento, vamos ver quem leva melhor. Muito curioso, né? Muito curioso mesmo. Bem legal, né? Uma competição diferente, né? Bem interessante, tá bom? Vamos ver como as equipes voltam para a segunda etapa. Eu acho que no segundo tempo a bola vai balançar a rede, tá bom? Eu acho que as equipes podem fazer melhor, principalmente a seleção libanesa, que é o time que joga para frente, a ofensiva, né? Tá certo? Vamos aqui nos ajeitando, que daqui a pouquinho a bola volta a rolar. Daqui a pouquinho a bola volta a rolar, e quando essa bola rolar, sai de baixo, que a emoção é grande aqui na Times Brasil, canal apaixonado por futebol. A Maria... Sai sim, Flaviano, falou que sai sim. Apostei em quem... Apostou em quem? Tá perguntando aí. A Maria tá perguntando pra Traira Matos. Pessoal, por favor, deixa o like, hein? Vem comigo, vai começar o jogo, vai recomeçar. Vamos juntos aí pro segundo tempo. Vamos juntos para o segundo tempo. As equipes vão se ajeitando em campo. Vamos lá. Vem comigo, deixa o like, fortalece. Um bom dia pra todo mundo aí, uma segunda-feira abençoada, hoje dia 12 de junho, né? Passa tão rápido, hein? Vamos aqui, vamos para o segundo tempo, hein? Bora lá, hein? Bora pra Mongólia e Líbano, aqui na Times Brasil, a mais querida, hein? É certo? As equipes estão voltando pro gramado, estão se ajeitando, o árbitro tá ali, o jogo bem aleatório, Líbano de branco, a Mongólia de azul. Vamos lá. As equipes estão ali se ajeitando, vai começar. Vai recomeçar o jogo. É Mongólia e Líbano aqui no YouTube e na Twitch da Times Brasil. Diamante Imperador. Eu apostei no Líbano. Boa sorte. Boa sorte. Eu acho que daqui a pouquinho o Líbano faz o gol, hein? Vamos lá. O árbitro ajeita o relógio. O árbitro apita. Bola rolando. Começa Começa o segundo tempo na Times Brasil. Pra Mongólia e Líbano, vem comigo, torcedor, vamos juntos. Na emoção do futebol alternativo, Mongólia e Líbano, ao vivo, exclusivo aqui no YouTube brasileiro. Bola rolando, segundo tempo, agora é pra valer. Agora é a hora da verdade. Vai pra cima a seleção de Líbano, que pra muitos e pra mim também é a favorita pra vencer o jogo, né? Líbano está no ranking 99 da FIFA e a Mongólia no ranking 183, não é brincadeira não. Olha o Líbano chegando, vai para fazer o gol, corta o zagueiro da Mongólia, lateral para a seleção libanesa, vai pro ataque o Líbano, não tá de brincadeira, vem comigo Brasil, vem comigo, Mongólia, Líbano, todo mundo, vamos juntos acompanhar um belo jogo. Toca na frente a bola escorregou ali, bola para a seleção da Mongólia. Jogo legal, vamos juntos, a emoção do futebol alternativo. Líbano de azul, a Mongólia, quer dizer, a Mongólia toda de azul e o Líbano todo de branco, tá bom? Vamos juntos, a emoção do futebol. Deixa o like, por favor, bora lá.
Talked about the good work Mongolian defenders have done in the first half, but we have to question Lebanon's defense and Lebanon's attack. There've been a couple of missed chances, open chances, and that's something that will definitely haunt them if the scoreline remains this way at the end of the second half.
El Hayak playing in Matuk. This time the ball towards the far post, as usual, towards Al Farhan. Once again, slightly overhit by a yard or so.
Again, to my point, yes, the crosses are coming in, but they're not maintaining the width on the other side, and that's been an issue.
Matuk cutting in on his favoured right side. Once again, trying to spread it out wide, but the fullback Zain not in sync with Matar.
I think that's something that the coach must have spoken on with the likes of Al Farhan, Darwish and Hassan Saad, that you need to keep the width. But at the same time, credit also has to be given to Mongolia, because they've been so compact. They've been very compact, and as soon as the ball goes wide, the players go and close you down very, very quickly. So the ball has to be played into space, and that's where the Lebanese players have to be ready to not receive the ball on their feet probably and just find that space.
They also don't make a secret of their plans, and that is why a head coach like Ichiro Atsuka was spotted, because the good work is so evident. He tries new things, he makes it very clear to the press as well. If you read things happening back in Mongolia, even if you go onto Twitter and look at what is being said about Mongolia, there seems to be a lot of support for the appointment, and he's proving it. He's showing why he's at the helm of this country, which is at a very nascent stage of football in terms of developing this wonderful grand sport of ours. Good fall to Al Farhan. One way then the other. Well stopped by Badbatar. Touched away by Munk Ertene, but didn't have support down the left.
We were speaking of Saad in his work rate, but something that also has to be noticed is Badbatar. He came on as a substitute against India, if I'm not mistaken, and he's kept his spot. So that just shows that the coach rewards
Al Farhan. Badbatar this time just timing it slightly late. He doesn't think so. Referee does and brings out the yellow card.
It does. It did look like a yellow card offence. Couldn't get the ball. The tackle went into the feet of Al Farhan on that right flank.
But this was earlier, a little earlier again, in the middle of it all. Matuk trying to find options, playing the ball in finally. But that final ball just played behind and then across. There was a slight jersey pull as well. It went unnoticed. But that's all right. I think it's a game of mistakes. The Lebanese team will keep wanting to putting pressure on the players, keep wanting to put pressure as much as they can, be it through crossing, be it through shots, be it through those through balls. They just won that opening. They've got the result in the first game. They're looking for the next one as well.
Matuk takes the free kick. It's a little bit of a dink, and once again over every white shirt, recovered by Matar. That one has pace, and Mongolia will let it run away. Once again, no problem.
Again, yes, the crosses are coming in, but in the first set-piece delivery, this was a push from the Lebanese player. But again, if you look at the cross, there was no one on the far post rushing in to meet that ball. And same with the second ball delivery. Everyone's just jumping from a standing position, which is hard to connect and get that direction.
Pardon me, Aditi, it's a bit unorthodox. You usually see a centre-back at the far post. You usually see a big striker at the far post. Something of that kind. And especially if the balls are being overhit over and over again, it's kind of common sense to get a man on the back post.
And especially when you're dominating the possession, creating so many chances.
Matuk trying to create one more. This time it's a corner.
Coming back to that point, especially when you're creating so many chances, over-reliance on those crosses, you could see that in the first half, but here the corner's taken quickly.
Matuk combining with Zain. This time it's a low ball. Mongolia will clean those up all evening.
I think if, we're being critical at the same time, if we can probably think for Alexander Ilic or the likes of Matuk is if you're crossing those balls, they're being overhit. There are days when things don't work in your favor. Cross with the goal in mind.
Alfaran. Oh, it's a bit clumsy. Nothing given for that. Lebanon continue playing. El Hayek. And Darwish was offering a run. Not interested in that channel ball. You want your number 9 central and in the box?
Absolutely, he'll want to be in the box, but then again, we've spoken of this before. He's somebody that has an immense work rate. He's all over the pitch in that final third.
Matuk. Oh, what a chance for Darwish once again. Just had to guide and redirect. That header ball had enough pace as well.
Matuk again in the middle of everything. We've spoken of this time and time again, but Darwish finding himself some space in the middle, but couldn't keep it on target. Tried to be cheeky or cute, whatever you want to call that, but he needs to just keep it simple. Put it at the back of the net, connect properly. If it goes in, it goes in. At least it's on target.
And after that, you could see the reaction from Darwish. He was asking Matuk to have delivered that ball on his feet. He probably wasn't ready, and that's something that he really needs to work on.
Alfaran. Ball comes in, but once again, Mongolia, the number of blue shirts, pardon me, Aditi, in the box.
Sorry, I just wanted to add that as a striker, you just want to be ready for any kind of ball. You can't be premeditated about what kind of ball is going to come in. You just have to be ready for any kind of delivery, and that's exactly what Matuk was trying to do there.
Here he is again. This time he makes his way into the box, but once again crowded out. 6 jerseys on him. 6 Mongolian jerseys just surrounding the number 7.
Because I think they've understood how important or how integral Matuk is to this Lebanese attack. But I want to see how long will it be before we see some changes, because now there will be tired legs. We've seen a few Lebanese players go down, some Mongolian players go down. But one person who doesn't go down in the box is Matuk, going past players, being crowded out, and finally just a clearance coming, a no-nonsense clearance coming from the Mongolian defense.
Another block, another corner for Lebanon. Trying to use that right wing now. Matuk as well present on the left and the right, through the middle, everywhere. His availability pivotal to the way Lebanon go forward. Alfaran's ball in is much better. He was looking for Matuk. And not the biggest man on the pitch, Matuk. Matar. Matuk alongside him, 2 of the most celebrated and experienced Lebanese players on the lineup. Here's Hassan Saad. In it comes over Darwish and into the feet once more of Temujin.
A good cut back on that occasion, but again, numbers not being present inside the penalty area is something that we've seen again and again from Lebanon's side.
Matuk. Slight deflection. Soft and foul, and a free kick for Lebanon. Shooting range and a good position.
I agree with you, Palasta. Looked a bit soft, but the referee agreeing to the appeals from the Lebanese players and gives away a free kick. It was definitely unintentional, but the referee decides to give it. It's a dangerous position. You've got Darvish on the ball, but I think Matuk should be the one taking this. He's got the clearance of the foot. He's got the experience of games behind him. Just get some men in the box, I feel. Yes, you've got the whole Mongolian team trying to defend. Send your defenders up, open that back line, and then go in for the rebounds, just in case Matuk can't score, which he has the ability to do so.
We call this the quick free kick, the Sunil Chhetri quick free kick position. We call this position that in India, but it's a wonderful placement as well in case Matuk wants to get it up and over.
Absolutely a good distance there, but you can see Mongolian players making a substitution. 2 substitutions, in fact.
Yeah, Kanbol, Kanbayat is the player coming on. And Ganbayar, of course, one of their most upcoming stars of football in the country.
Sodbunk has had a great evening. He's worked to his full effort. He's had his side come in.
Substitution for Mongolia.
And this is one of the reasons why I felt that Matuk should be taking it. He decides otherwise. Hassan Saad, he does have the experience in himself as well, but should be doing better.
Absolutely, I was surprised with the technique here that Hassan Saad went for. Probably would have been better if Matuk. Now we see the substitution being made. Al Farhan finishing off.
Darvish, pardon me, but Badr has come on. You almost got it right, Aditi. One is number 19 and one is 9. It's fine. But just coming back to the point of that substitution, it's almost as if the coach has said, you've gotten our Darvish and we want more from you. Now it's time for someone else to be there.
A fair substitution. He's got plenty of opportunities in the first game and in this second match as well. Missed a lot of open chances. Now it's time to give this opportunity to someone else.
So lots of fresh legs on the pitch. 4 changes already overall from Mongolia. Just the 1 from Lebanon. Looking for more precision. A draw here for Mongolia. They can open up the group. And Vanuatu will also be watching. They might be fancying themselves their physical approach against India next. Taste a little battle there. Here's Badr. Quick feed from Badr. Keeps going and probably overplayed it in the end. Well done by Ughanbat.
Mongolian defenders, and in this part, Ughanbat doing very well to keep up with fresh legs of Badr. Going left and then coming back inside, then going outside again, taking on defenders, but Ughanbat doing very well to stay on him, making sure that his team, even on that occasion, earned a goal kick.
Keep talking about the crossing quality as well from Lebanon. 20 crosses attempted, 4 on target. Yeah, that number has to get better. It's not easy with crosses, but Mongolia have done ever so well in the air. Al Farhan using his pace and almost finding a teammate. And Badr was available at the far post. Hassan Saad had made a run. And Batbatar does very well to keep it away from a corner and only for a throw-in.
I think speaking of defensive duties, Batbatar's name has to be taken. He's been very good. Yes, he's on a yellow card, but tries to win the ball in that first instant, doesn't get it.
Al Farhan again. Once again cleared away. This time it was Basanjav for Mongolia. doing his defensive work. Matar's attempt. And keeper parries it away. Badr. El Hayek. Matuk. Throw in only.
An attempt there by Nadir Matar. Could have collected the ball there, but decided to punch. Surprised with that decision. Just giving away the ball for rebound. And it can end up in a dangerous area and in the feet of the opponent to finish.
Al-Farhan finding some space down the right. Not the first time in this half. Good looking ball as well. Almost fell to Matar. Thought of it first time, but Gun Bayar all the way from his striker's position and blocking his vision. Here's Badr. Here's the same old story. Nobody waiting at the back post. Just past the hour mark. Still 0-0. Badr. El Hayek. This time it's low and easy for Munk Erdene despite the awkward bounce.
That was an awkward bounce and the keeper's awareness was tested. But again, we've been speaking about this left flank throughout this game. Another cross coming in, an awkward bounce, almost catching the keeper by surprise, but well done to the Mongolian keeper once again to keeping his squad in this game.
It feels like Lebanon is trying to force those crosses, not really catching the ball really well, and still trying to force those crosses, even though it's not worked out for them in this entire game, but still relying on those crosses. Surprising to not mix it up a little bit, try to have a different approach.
Matuk trying to change things. Important touch coming in. Al-Farhan steps in. Time for another cross. Munkardene gets enough distance on it.
I think one of the ways that Lebanon can cause issues to this Mongolian defense that has been very compact and very good for the past 62 minutes on the clock is a minus ball, a late run. If I can give an example of a late run or chasing one of those balls in, has to be Sahal. Getting on the ball at the second attempt and making sure it gets on target.
Matuk. He needed just the slightest of touches from Hassan Saad.
Well, I think that's important. Matuk trying to find another option for his team. The first ball gets somewhat cleared and the early cross is causing issues. This could be an idea that Matuk and the Lebanese bench could be thinking of. Whip that ball in early, put it behind this Mongolian defense. Going back to the first half, Darwish had a chance on the same idea. Put that ball in early, got behind the defense, but missed. Could be an idea that the Lebanese team will now speak of, because it looks like they're all coming in for a water break.
Yeah, that ball did look like a better option for Lebanon in terms of creating a chance instead of late crosses. Again, Matuk would be the key player to make those balls and deliver those passes. But it does have to come down to the attackers, to the strikers. They have got to get that finishing touch on those balls and on those deliveries if they want to get a win out of this match.
7+ kilometers covered by 4 Mongolian players. Still a long way to go in this game, but the pace and the intensity has gone up a few notches as the temperatures have come down. Ichiro Atsuka will be asking his players to be slightly wary of that. The timing of his changes also reflecting the timing of the sun going down.
And I say it again, I think as this game goes on further, Ichi might be thinking, can I nick a result out of this Lebanese side? Because think of it, we've spoken of Matuk, but you've got players like Hassan Saad present on the pitch, Al Farhan present on the pitch, Nader, Matar, and now Badr coming on with fresh legs. Why is it that one option that Lebanon is looking for? Get everyone involved, keep doing the simple things, move the ball around. Mistakes will happen. This is somewhat an inexperienced Mongolian team.
It would be so interesting to see if they can operate without this man as well, Matuk. And so many countries going into the Asian Cup have these senior players. Matuk for Lebanon, we have a Sunil Chhetri for India. We have players in Mongolia as well, but they're not up for Asian Cup action, where there will be a changing of the guard. And just like India continues to plan to replace the likes of a Sunil Chhetri with so many games and experience under his belt, is the same challenge for Lebanon to find the next Matuk.
Absolutely, and you could see in these two matches there's been an over-reliance on Matuk and his deliveries. Even in the first match, most of the action and most of the chances that Lebanon created were through Matuk's deliveries. Even today, it's been the same case. And that's something that that India would be looking forward to, and something that they would want to counter and find a solution for.
And to just carry on from that conversation after this attack, though. And just to carry on from that conversation, we spoke about Matuk and we spoke about Sunil. You know, the positive side of this Igor Stimac side, who's done very well to find 12 different goal scorers. So like Matuk is trying to find options in his team. Igor Stimac has done very well. 12 different goal scorers, 3 clean sheets now. And I genuinely feel that teams coming into the groove of things, and with tournaments coming back to back, that's going to help not just the boys but our country to move up the ranks as well.
Once again, Lebanon coming down the right. Al Farhan available, looking for Badr, but snatched away before it could get to him by Ugan Bath. Here's Matuk. No way out, but there could be a way in via another corner.
Badbatar again doing his defensive duties really well.
Zain takes it onto his left. He's not going to be remembering that one for too long.
It's just a very wasteful effort again by Lebanon, very casual there. They had the numbers there, they had a lot of players present in the penalty area, could have found a better option rather than going for the goal, it seemed.
He tried to take it on his weaker foot, Zain, but if he just tries to put that cross in, even with his left, with the intent of let me keep it in the goal frame, with the amount of bodies present in this Mongolian defense line or box, it could go through bodies. At this point, as good football as Lebanon is playing and moving the ball forward.
Al Farhan.
As good football as Lebanon is playing and moving the ball forward, sometimes you do need a bit of luck on your side. Put the ball in the box, let it go through bodies, might just go in the goal as well.
Mongolia looking up and looking ahead. That has been a rare thing that we've said. Oh, and just a little less on that floater from Ugan Bath, and maybe Munk Erdene could have been in.
A bit of tiredness and exhaustion clearly being seen, and Mongolia on that rare occasion of creating an attack should have done better, or just kept the ball to just slow down the game and keep the possession.
Well, he's sending on Sendayush. Sendayush, that's the name, that's the message.
He sent him on, and I say this again, I have a feeling that now Ichi will be thinking, I might be able to get at least one goal, because his team's defensive duties have been brilliant. 70 minutes, the highest ranked team of the competition, and you've literally stopped everything.
I like how you're on nickname terms with Ichiro Atsuka now.
He's my friend now. We both played at school level.
Well, but Sendayush coming on, and this is very smart though. And Aditi, if you're to analyze the changes made as well, and sometimes we might obsess over whether there is meaning to when the change happens and what the change is. But putting on Sen Ayush now, 20 minutes left, 0-0, very clever.
I agree with Robin. This result would give them a lot of confidence, and of course, you just need one opportunity to convert and get a goal, and then do your defensive duties like you've been doing in the entire match. Just shut down the opponent, try to get that goal. Fresh legs definitely would help in these kind of conditions, especially in a game when you've been chasing all of it.
Matuk's attempt, once again over the bar.
Matuk has been their brightest spark. He's created everything, he's put himself about, he's won the ball, tried to assist in the attacks, and this time gets a shot off. Probably his weaker foot, but the way he's playing, both his feet look the same.
After watching Mongolia in this game against Lebanon, and there were moments when we questioned why India weren't going all out, why they weren't going gung-ho, why they weren't being able to break down Mongolia. Even Lebanon are not able to do so. Not saying that Lebanon is by far a better team than India, but it's not just an India problem. Mongolia are seriously organized at the back.
They are, and that's what you usually find in lower ranked teams. They stay compact, defend in numbers, and go for a low block, which makes it really, really hard for the opponents to break them down. And for that, the most important thing is to keep your patience. To break that down, you have to rotate the ball, especially in the final third. Keep that composure, rotate the ball, and look for spaces. Just wait for the defenders to make that mistake or be a little bit disorganized, and then choose that moment to really attack.
Team India has arrived. They are in the building. Amrinder there, eagerly watching on the two teams. In comes the corner, cleared away. Matar sends it in first time. Well done by Ganbayar. The forward winning the header. Here's Badar. Dinesh. Matuk, the flag is up.
Matuk, who's been in the middle of everything again, gets caught offside this time. But the composure on the ball, trying to put crosses in, first attack, second wave of attack, and even a third wave of attack is what is leading to these chances that could prove dangerous. But this was the first cross that came in, people staying onside. And then Matuk, the final shot coming from him, but he was caught offside for sure. Cooling break, a chance for both the coaches to give that last bit of information for this game, I feel.
Lebanon will also be making changes. Hassan Saad is coming off, and so is Matar. Markabawi will come on, and so will Hassan Kurani. Vanuatu and India is the next game. 7:30 kickoff immediately after this game. Big physical challenge. The two centre-backs of Vanuatu and a couple of pacey wingers up front. India have to be careful.
I think so. When we speak of pacey, Udanta was there, and both these
analysts, Lebanon and India?
The Indian analyst and the Lebanese analyst will be discussing everything apart from both their team's statistics and predictions and analytical moves for the game that's coming up between these two. Might just be asking where the good coffee shop is.
But Kurani and Markabawi come on, and we're into the final quarter of an hour.
Hassan Kurani.
Kurani made the difference when he came on in the previous game, scoring from that header. Vanuatu's defense line leaving him absolutely unmarked. Those are the mistakes, the amateur mistakes that Vanuatu can make. Those are the mistakes which India will want to exploit. As of now, though, a big 15 minutes for Mongolia. If they get a 0-0 against Lebanon, it will be front page news back home.
That'll be a great result, and that will give them the confidence to go up against Vanuatu with an idea that, all right, we've lost the first game, we've built upon it, we've got a result against the highest ranked team. Now it's for us to maybe try qualifying, because we don't know what's going to happen in the Lebanese versus the Indian team game.
Zain. Munker then was slightly wrong-footed, maybe confused by the ball moving in the air. Aditi, you know better.
The Mongolian keepers not looked very comfortable catching the balls, whether it's low shots or high balls, and that's something that usually as keepers you want to work on. You're going to get your grip right, have that confidence to catch the ball and not give away those second chances on rebounds.
Matuk. Nice turn in the box. This could be problematic. Matuk! And Munk Erdene finally gets there first. Had to sacrifice his fingers, but he should be fine.
That's another, again, Matuk in the middle of all of it and at the end of it. And I think the goalkeeper's heard Aditi as well. Goes and catches it this time, making sure that the ball doesn't end up at the back of his net. But again, trying to build it up, trying to force things at some points, but Mongolia still standing strong.
And this is much better from Lebanon. Try to play those 1-2 touches, give and go. Try to break the Mongolian compact defensive approach. They seem to create better chances this way rather than the crosses, which have clearly not worked for them throughout this match.
Over the top, Ganbayar. Oh! Immediately puts his hand up after the challenge as well. Ayub. Young ball Ganbayar went down, and a yellow card for the Lebanese defender.
Fresh legs helping out Mongolia as well, and finally a set piece in an attacking third. Ayub very, very late there. Got caught on the wrong side, and Ganbayar doing very well to put his body between the man and the ball. But is this that opportunity? I'm excited.
Bom dia, pessoal, aqui é o Lucas Bazarello. Agora sim, vamos lá tentar um pouquinho uma narração agora em português. Será que é bom? Será que é bom um pouco de narração em português? Apesar que o nome dos caras é difícil para falar, mas isso daí é apenas detalhe, né? 33 jogados, segundo tempo, na Times Brasil, Líbano. Ainda melhor, apertando ali a Mongólia, mas, né, por enquanto nada da rede balançar. Vamos lá. Vai pro ataque o time, a seleção da Mongólia. Mongólia de azul. Líbano, olha só, quase a Mongólia, hein? Camisa 7 ali baixinho, cabeçou pra fora, vem Líbano. Bota a bola pra frente, vai Líbano pro ataque, seleção libanesa. Tentando ali fazer aquele golzinho pra sair aqui com 3 pontos. Lembrando que esse jogo aqui, apesar de ser amistoso, é uma competição, é uma Copa amistosa lá na Índia, tá bom? Mandar um bom dia pra Flaviane, pro Igor Borges, o Fábio Luiz. O pessoal participando conosco, né? Joguei em fazer um gol ou menos, falou o Fábio, e a Flaviane menos 1.5, isso, e a Flaviane, pensei que trem do Líbano ia golear, o trem do Líbano mas por enquanto não, hein, menos 1.5 tava odd alta, né, falou a Flaviane, e o Fábio, quando fiz tava 2.2, é isso aí pessoal, vamos lá, o Igor conosco aí, quer 2 gols, bora que bora. Eu quero gol. Toca a bola, seleção libanesa de futebol, Líbano de branco, vai pro ataque. Mandar um salve pro Pedrão, lá na Twitch conosco. Pedro conosco. Bom dia, Pedro, seja bem-vindo. Estamos aqui no YouTube e na Twitch da Times Brasil. Mais querida, hein? Vamos juntos acompanhar um belo jogo de futebol alternativo. Seja bem-vindo, fique à vontade. Bora que bora. Toca a bola, Líbano, no ataque da seleção libanesa de futebol. Chegando a quase 35 jogados do segundo tempo, hein? Bom dia, Brasil. Tô aí, sejam bem-vindos, fica à vontade. Vamos lá, pro ataque Mongólia. Recuperar a bola, seleção Mongólia. Vai pro ataque, tenta lhe surpreender. A Mongólia que não vem bem aí. Nos últimos 3 jogos, perdeu 3 jogos. A Mongólia nos últimos 3 jogos, né? todos aqui em 2023. Foram 3 amistosos que a Mongólia fez e perdeu 3 jogos, né? A Mongólia, em 3 jogos disputados em 2023, sofreu 14 gols e fez apenas 2. Parece brincadeira, né? Olha só, a Mongólia no ataque, tira a zaga do Líbano. 80 minutos. Líbano vai pro ataque, a seleção libanesa recupera a bola. E com camisa 20, lançamento lá no canto esquerdo, domina a bola, vai Líbano pro ataque, a seleção libanesa de futebol. Busca ali 3 pontinhos nessa Copa da Índia. Olha o passe na frente, chegou, correu, protege a bola. Toca a bola, olha só o Líbano, corta ali a seleção da Mongólia. O tempo não para, hein? O tempo não para na Times Brasil. Belo jogo de futebol alternativo, hein? Que espetáculo, hein? Não é todo dia que nós temos o privilégio de acompanhar um baita jogo desse, né? De Mongólia e Líbano. 2 seleções aí bem diferenciadas, né? Agora teve alteração ali em Líbano. Líbano saiu o 7, capitão, e entrou o 10. Entrou 10 em Líbano. Agora sim, entrou camisa 10 na seleção libanesa. Ó, por favor, deixa o like e se inscreva no canal. Na verdade ia sair o 7, mas mudou. Saiu o 4 e entrou o 10 na seleção libanesa. Perde calma ali, jogo parado. Ali o camisa 10. Aqui uma pequena confusão na substituição, mas deu certo. Vamos lá, Líbano, melhor, 81, quase 82, joga a bola a seleção libanesa de futebol. O Fábio, eu joguei também nesse México e na Austrália do Sub-23, né? Deixa de jogar, olha só, vem Líbano pro ataque, é escanteio. Escanteio para Líbano, não, o juiz deu o tiro de meta, para mim era escanteio. Vamos lá, 82, rapaz, para quem colocou para sair mais de 2.5, já vai ficando preocupado, né? Realmente, um jogo que se esperava um pouquinho mais, né? Eu, particularmente, esperava pelo menos 1 ou 2 gols nesse jogo, né? Torcer para acontecer, né? Dá tempo, né? Afinal de contas, ainda não acabou o jogo, né? O jogo só acaba quando o juiz apita. Falta 8 minutos, mais os acréscimos. Tivemos aqui uma parada técnica, né? Para hidratação, capaz de ter ali uns 5 a 7 minutos de acréscimo, vem em lançamento muito forte, a bola fica com o goleiro da Mongólia, sai tocando. Uma competição amistosa, temos aí 4 seleções, né? Índia, Vanuatu, Mongólia e Líbano. Uma competição que acontece desde 2018, né? Em 2018, a seleção da Índia foi a campeã da Copa Internacional. Depois, em 2018, né? Foi a Coreia do Sul, desculpa, a Coreia do Norte. Incrível que pareça, em 2017 a Índia foi a campeã. Em 2018 a Coreia do Norte foi a campeã. Depois não teve as últimas edições devido aí à pandemia, né, tal. E agora vem pro ataque a seleção do Líbano. Chegou o Líbano na área, atenção, olha só o perigo, vai bater pro gol. Defendeu a bola, voltou, tiro, zagueiro. Chegou com perigo o Líbano. O goleiro defendeu e na segunda ali o zagueiro tirou. Recupera o Líbano no ataque, a seleção libanesa. Vamos lá, quem sabe um golzinho. Vem Líbano na direita, faz o passe. Carrega a bola, vem pro ataque. Ih, bela jogada, chegou, lançamento, corta o zagueiro de calcanhar, tira a Mongólia, vai Mongólia contra-ataque, lançamento no meio de campo, perdeu, ganhou, recupera a Mongólia. Levanta a cabeça, faz o passe, busca o ataque, lançamento, a bola viaja, vai Mongólia pro ataque, dominou no canto esquerdo, carrega a bola, vai Mongólia, correu, segura a bola, trouxe pra dentro, lançamento, a bola dividida, tiro de cabeça, a zaga do Líbano, o Brasil todo ligado na Times Brasil, vem comigo, deixa o like por favor. A Flaviane Colucci, cadê o gol? Uma ótima pergunta, quase falou Fábio Luiz, o povo quer gol. Por favor, um gol, vamos lá, né? Quem quer gol? Ó, vamos lá. Quem quer gol, levanta a mão pra cima e deixa o like, por favor. A bola Mongólia, toca errado, recupera o Líbano. Passe muito forte, a bola saiu, hein? Teve desvio. Não, a bola saiu, a bola é da Mongólia. O tempo tá passando, agora vai ter aqui mais mudanças, né? Mais substituição na seleção do Líbano. Líbano que, né, favorito aí, mas não consegue corresponder. E o incrível que parece que a Mongólia não ataca nada, né? A Mongólia só fica atrás, né? Praticamente a Mongólia não chutou ao gol, só Líbano que chutou pro gol. A seleção libanesa tem 75% de posse de bola e não faz um gol sequer, né? É realmente algo lamentável para a seleção do Líbano. Já posso chorar ou tá cedo? Acho que já deixa separado, né? Separado já o paninho para enxugar as lágrimas, porque pelo jeito aí, ó, 40 minutos, não querendo desanimar ninguém. Mas, né, vamos lá. Ainda não acabou o jogo, acabou a seleção do Líbano. Vai, Líbano, no canto esquerdo, carrega a bola, ali camisa 5, faz o passe com 17. Vou falar só o número, porque o nome do cara é difícil. Chegou o Líbano, vai bater pro gol, pra fora, é tiro de meta pra equipe, seleção da Mongólia. 41, né? 41 jogados, o tempo não para na Times Brasil, no canal do Futebol Alternativo. Vem comigo, deixa o like, por favor. Vem comigo, deixa o like. Ó, temos aí 47 pessoas ao vivo nesse momento, temos 26 likes, por favor. Por favor, deixa o like. O Fábio, calma que pode sair um gol. Pode sair um gol. Vamos esperar, né? Quem espera sempre alcança. Com esse empate, né, a classificação é o seguinte, que isso aqui é uma competição, né, a Copa Intercontinental da Índia aí, temos aí, com esse jogo em andamento, a seleção do Líbano é líder com 4 pontos, depois temos a Índia com 3 pontos, Vanuatu, quer dizer, a Mongólia está indo para terceiro com 1 ponto, e Vanuatu é o lanterna 4 colocado com 0 ponto, Líbano indo para 4 pontos, a Índia tem 3, Vanuatu tem 0, né? Com empate, Mongólia vai para terceiro, né? Com 1 ponto. Ainda hoje, às 11 horas, tem Índia e Vanuatu, né? Eu acho que é 11h30, né? Índia e Vanuatu. Não vou poder fazer esse jogo, infelizmente. É isso aí. Vamos lá, por favor, deixa o like. Toca a bola, a seleção libanesa. Vai pro ataque, Líbano. Vai pro ataque. Não tira o pé do acelerador. Reta final, quem sabe? Um golzinho. É falta! Falta boa pro Líbano. Foi derrubado. Falta frontal, lance perigoso para a seleção libanesa de futebol. Quem sabe? Na bola parada, vamos lá. Se tiver categoria, é uma falta distante, mas se tiver categoria, é uma bela oportunidade. O Gerdson Mossoró, Rio Grande do Norte, hein? Bom dia, manda um salve para mim e para minha mãe. Então, meu amigo de Mossoró, meu parceiro, aí você me quebra, hein? Olha só, lançamento, tira a zaga da Mongólia, volta com o Líbano, chegou, lançamento é pra fazer o gol, é escanteio. Escanteio pro Líbano, escanteio pro... O Gerdson, Gerdson, aí você me quebra, o Renan Andrade, ainda bem que apostei no empate. Verdade, Renan, ainda bem. Escanteio pra seleção do Líbano, vai Líbano, lançamento, chegou a bola, o Tedmais voltou, bateu ali, lançamento, a bola vai pra fora, eita nós. Uma jogada horrorosa, tiro de meta pra seleção da Mongólia. O Daniel, meu asiático bateu, pra você ver, é um jogo asiático também, né? Um jogo asiático, né? 2 países da Ásia, e deu certo aí pro Daniel Matos. O Fábio, aí sim, Renan, jogou arriscado, e tá dando certo por enquanto, hein? Foi na sorte, né? Só joguei. Tá certo, falou o Fábio Luiz. Mas, né, o jogo não acabou ainda, Sim, falou o Fábio Luiz. Vamos lá. 44 jogados. Vai pro ataque Líbano, vai todo pro ataque Líbano. Faz o passe na esquerda, toca errado. Dale Mongólia, se defende. A seleção Mongólia de futebol hoje tá jogando certinho. Olha só, mais um ataque do Líbano e é falta. Foi puxado ali, foi derrubado. É falta no campo de ataque. Dessa vez ali um pouco mais distante. Eu acho que não dá pra bater pro gol, né? Tem que vir lançamento pra área. Vamos lá, vem Líbano. Quem sabe o lançamento pra área pra fazer aquele gol. 44 minutos e meio. Os últimos minutos. Eu acho que vai ter de acréscimo. Acredito eu com 6 ou 7 de acréscimo. É justo, né? Teve ali várias alterações, teve também a parada técnica para hidratação. Vamos lá. Bola para, vem o Líbano, corta a lateral. A Mongólia se defende como pode. A Mongólia se defende como pode. Por favor, deixa o like, Brasil. Brasil, Mongólia e Líbano. Quem tiver conosco, deixa o like, por favor. O Thomas, muito bem trabalho. Graças por transmitir a partida. Saludos de Vitória, Buenos Aires, Clube Atlético Tigre. Oh, miau. O Tigre, salve, salve, obrigado aí, Thomas Gola, argentino de Buenos Aires, torcedor do Clube Atlético Tigre. Isso aí, saludos desde Vitória. Obrigado, graças, hermano. Jogo parado para atendimento médico, ó, 7 minutos de acréscimo. 7 minutos de acréscimo. Jogo parado. Mais 7 minutos. Jogo parado para atendimento médico. Ali a cara de preocupado do técnico da Mongólia. Eu fico imaginando o que passa na cabeça do técnico da Mongólia. Pô, 0 a 0, mas o time tá jogando bem ou tá jogando ruim, né? Tá bom, né? A Mongólia, nos últimos 3 jogos que disputou, foram 3 derrotas. A Mongólia tomou 6 a 1 da Geórgia, também sofreu aí 6 a 1 do Dinamo Batumi, que é uma equipe da Geórgia, e também perdeu para a Índia, né? Perdeu para a Índia por 2 a 0 no último jogo. Olha só o ataque, vem o Líbano, chegou, toca a bola o Líbano ali com camisa 10, tem qualidade, o passe é feito, a bola foi muito forte, apenas tiro de meta para a seleção ali da Mongólia. Já repõe a bola o goleiro. Vamos lá, vai Mongólia, vai Líbano, as duas equipes estão correndo atrás da bola aqui na Times Brasil. Temos ainda mais 5 minutos de emoção, vou falar pra vocês, em 5 minutos dá pra fazer muita coisa, hein? Em 5 minutos dá pra fazer muita coisa. Olha só, 55 pessoas ao vivo acompanhando esse belo jogo de Mongólia e Líbano. Por favor, temos 28 likes, deixa o like, obrigado demais, tá bom? Reta final, continua Líbano no ataque, vai o Líbano pro ataque. E é escanteio, a bola saiu ali, escanteio. Escanteio para a seleção do Líbano, tá o 17. Vai, o time entrou pro ataque. Faltando aí 4 minutos e meio. O Líbano tentou o lançamento para a área, vai chegando, tira a zaga da Mongólia. Tira o zagueiro da Mongólia, reta final emocionante, os últimos minutos. 0 a 0 para quem apostou em gols, né? Tá aí já preocupado faz tempo, né? E só dá Líbano, né? É incrível, só dá Líbano. O Líbano tem aí praticamente 80% de bola. Olha só, mais um ataque do Líbano. Chegou, passe é feito, a bola vai vir. Lançamento, corta, o zagueiro pediu pênalti. O árbitro não deu, não deu. Eu quero rever o lance aqui. Não foi. No primeiro momento parecia o toque de mão, mas não foi não. A mão tava colada, não foi nada. Vem a seleção do Líbano, ganhou a bola, perdeu, a bola vai sair, a lateral pro Líbano, já cobrou rápido, vai lá o 17, vai pedalando, ó. Carrega a bola, vem o Líbano, caiu, o árbitro não deu nada, recupera a Mongólia recupera e manda pra frente, né? É chutão pro mato. O Ernie Valério, bora, bom dia, Ernie Valério, nome diferente, hein? Bom dia, salve, salve. Vamos até aos 97, né? Até 52 aí do segundo tempo na Times Brasil. Um jogo amistoso, uma competição aí na Índia, tá bom? São 4 seleções na Copa Internacional aí da Índia. Índia, Vanuatu, Mongólia e Líbano. Já no próximo dia 15, na quinta-feira tem a terceira rodada e no domingo, dia 18, tem a final, né? Tá bom, vamos lá. Vem pro ataque a seleção do Líbano, né? Mais um escanteio. Quem sabe agora? Vai o time então pro ataque. É Líbano, o favorito. Escanteio para fazer aquele golzinho milagroso. Vamos lá. Quem sabe agora, hein? Tá tentando. Martela de todas as maneiras. Lançamento para tira a zaga da seleção da Mongólia. O Líbano recuperou. Vem pro ataque. Vai vir um chute pro gol. Quem sabe agora? Chegou, bateu, tira a zaga. A Mongólia não ataca, mas só se defende. Só defesa, hein? É ataque contra defesa, hein? É realmente o Líbano já teve aí quase, sei lá, umas 20 tentativas, né? A Mongólia não fez nada. Tivemos aí 11 escanteios, né? 11 cantos, 4 cartões amarelos e 0. Nem um gol. Infelizmente, por enquanto, a rede não balançou aqui nessa manhã de futebol alternativo na Times Brasil. Obrigado pelo like. Bora lá, hein? Eu quero gol. Eu quero é gol. Lateral para Mongólia. A Mongólia, ali agora, jogador caído, vai ser atendido, hein? Tá cansado, hein? Tá lá 2 jogadores da Mongólia caídos. Realmente estão fadigados, estão cansados. O Fábio, acho que já era, Tudo indica que já era, mas, né, futebol é aquela coisa que, às vezes, coisas que parecem impossível acontecem, né? O Daniel Matos dando risada, kkkk, e a Flaviana, já era mesmo, 0x0, rapaz, tá bravo, hein? E assim, é um jogo que não pode se esperar muito dos dois países, das duas seleções, mas só que mesmo assim, nós sempre esperamos gols, né? Você pega aí a Mongólia, nos últimos 3 jogos, sofreu 14 gols. É incrível que hoje não tomou nenhum, né? Incrível, é realmente incrível, tá bom? Jogo parado, temos ali 2 jogadores do Líbano, da Mongólia caído. E o juizão mandou voltar, hein? Vamos lá. Tem que voltar rápido, rapaziada. Tem dúvida de... Vamos lá, vai o Líbano, recupera a bola, só vai chegar nos últimos segundos. Vai Líbano pro ataque, lançamento chegou. Olha só, dominou, vai Líbano. Tem lançamento para vai Líbano pro ataque, chegou. Tira a zaga, voltou com o Líbano, vai fazer o gol, cortou, tira o zagueiro da Mongólia. Escanteio. Mongólia, se segura, último minuto. Se segura, Mongólia, vai Líbano. O time todo no ataque para fazer o gol, lançamento, agora vai chegar. Para bater pro gol, tirou o zagueiro da Mongólia, se defende como pode. O Líbano tenta, nesses último ataque. Quem sabe aquele golzinho milagroso. Toca a bola, vai chegar para fazer o gol. O juizão marcou ali impedimento no ataque do Líbano. Coloca as mãos na cabeça. É o 17, ó. O 17 do Líbano é bom. Esse 17 é bom, hein? Esse 17 do Líbano entrou no segundo tempo. É bom jogador, hein? Mas dessa vez estava impedido. Vai acabar. Vai terminar o jogo, hein? O árbitro prometeu 7 minutos. Resultado horrível aí pro Líbano, hein? Chegou ali quase, mas estava impedido. Vamos lá, quem sabe mais um ataque, né? Bola pra frente, rapaz, fez o gol aqui, mas estava impedido, né? A bola... Nem foi gol, porque assim, a bola entrou pro gol, mas não estava valendo nada. Últimos segundos, o Líbano tenta o último ataque. Os jogadores do banco de reserva estão em pé ali, ó. Estão em pé, desesperados. Correria a perna pra quem tem. Tira a zaga ali da Mongólia, lateral. Já cobrou rápido o lançamento. Vai vir bola pra atenção. Chegou o Líbano. O passe cortou. Volta com o Líbano. Tira a zaga. O jogo tá dramático nesse finalzinho. Já pode ter acabado, hein? O juiz deu 7, mas tá com 8 de acréscimo, hein? Vamos lá. Bebe água ali o técnico da Mongólia. E vem o Líbano. Pode ser o último ataque, né? Ou não, né? Depende do árbitro. O lançamento chegou. Tira de soco o goleiro. Tira de soco o goleiro. Agora tira o zagueiro da Mongólia, hein? Toque errado. O Líbano recupera a bola. Ginga. Toca pra direita. O jogo não acaba. Segura a bola. Vai acabar. Vamos lá. A Mongólia chutou pra frente. O árbitro... não apita. E também Líbano recuperou. Ó, o lançamento de trivela. Chegou muito forte. Cortou. Volta com o Líbano. Chegou. Olha só o perigo aí pra fazer o gol. Corta o goleiro. Chuta pra longe essa bola. E vem Líbano. Vem o time de branco todo pro ataque. O jogo não acaba. Vem o Líbano. O passe na esquerda. Faz o passe. Vem pro ataque. Tem pressa. Vamos lá. Gingou, carregou, trouxe pra dentro. Corta o zagueiro da Mongólia. Tira essa bola. Chutou pra longe. E o árbitro apita. Fim de papo, game over. Fim de papo, game over. Não há tempo pra mais nada. Não há tempo pra mais nada, Brasil. Acaba, game over. 0 pra Mongólia. 0 pro Líbano. O que, né? A maioria esperava, não aconteceu. O Líbano não venceu, não goleou, não fez nenhum gol sequer. 0x0, fim de papo, game over. Não há tempo pra mais nada. Tivemos 14 escanteios, 4 amarelos e sequer um gol, né? Sequer um gol. Eu vou passar no chat aí rapidamente, pessoal, para ler os seus comentários. Rapidamente vou passar no chat aí, por favor. Fica comigo, tá? Fica comigo no chat aí, deixa o seu like. Vou passar no chat aí rapidinho para ler os comentários da galera, hein? Vem comigo. Belezinha? Eu sou o Lucas Bazarello aqui da Times Brasil. Se inscreva, não vai embora sem deixar o like. Não vai embora sem deixar o like. Fim de jogo. Vou passar aqui no nosso chat para ler os comentários da galera, hein? Que jogo, hein? 0x0 bate... Não bateu nada, né? Só para quem colocou empate mesmo, né? Colocou para sair poucos gols, né? Quem foi no under, né? Aí quem foi no... complicou. Complicou. Vamos lá, deixa eu passar aqui no chat. Olha os comentários da galera. Inúmeras, várias participações, hein? Obrigado, Fábio. Valeu, Fábio Luiz. Daniel Matos. Os jogadores nem aguentavam ficar em pé. Estavam bem fadigados mesmo. Juiz deve torcer pro Líbano. Pobre da Mongólia, falou Daniel. Valeu o Fábio Luiz. Ao Daniel Matos. A Flaviane Colucci. O Ernie Valério. O Thomas Guala. O Renan Andrade. Deixa eu ver mais quem participou. O Gerdson Mossoró. O pessoal participou conosco aí. Daniel Borges. Valeu, pessoal. Obrigado pela audiência, hein? Fantástico. Valeu, Thomas. Valeu, pessoal. Valeu. Obrigado, Daniel. Pessoal, não vai embora sem deixar o like. Tchau, tchauzinho. Valeu. Ó, pessoal, eu mandei no chat aí, ó. Se vocês voltar no chat aí, eu tenho 2 links. Temos nosso link, nosso grupo, nosso grupão, nosso grupo da resenha, tá? Vou fixar, ó. Vou fixar aqui em cima, ó. Temos aqui o nosso link, ó. Tá o nosso grupo no WhatsApp da resenha. Temos um grupão da resenha. Tá aí, ó, fixado no chat. E agora vou mudar. Vou colocar o nosso link também aí do nosso grupo de free tips, tá? Vou trocar ali o link no chat. Fixar a mensagem, ó. Agora, tá ali o nosso link, nosso grupo de free tips, tá? Vai lá, nosso WhatsApp. Beleza? Obrigado, valeu, Thomas. Abraço, obrigado pela audiência, pessoal. Valeu demais, valeu. Thomas, Flaviano, Daniel, Flávio. Pessoal, participou conosco, tá bom? Não vai embora se deixar o like. E até a próxima, Brasil. Valeu, fim de papo, game over. Não há tempo pra mais nada. É isso aí, pessoal. Bom descanso pra todos. Feliz Dia dos Namorados, né? Hoje é 12, né? É isso aí. Fui, tchauzinho, obrigado. Até a próxima. Valeu. Times Brasil, paixão pelo futebol.